everyone, it's Natalie here. I am at my family's house. My family, in short, is away today, and I needed the use of their washer and dryer. So I'm over here doing some laundry, and you may hear some sounds every now and again. But what I'm here for is to make a quick video and flip through walkthrough of the Motherpeace for Nina from Shuffle Tarot. So Nina was really geeked and excited about my videos about the New Earth Tarot, which I have loved, by the way, if anybody hasn't quite got that yet. Big fan, big fan. Whoop, just unwrapping my New Earth deck here. And I'm also equally a huge fan of the Motherpeace. So I keep my round decks in these like wonderful sort of roundish pouchy things. But the Motherpeace, like the coloring is gorgeous. All of the backs are like this. And I feel like it's a really, so it has discs as a suit. I feel like it's a really, I love this card as Temperance. All right, there we go. Really diverse deck. Three of Swords. Kind of a different take that she does in this deck as well for the Three of Swords. I keep flipping them the wrong way. Here we go. Ten of Cups. Four of Discs. I love that. You know, that idea that she's conserving resources and taking care of herself. Sorry to take a little break there for a second for the dog. Daughter of Discs. Ten of Discs. Shaman of Discs. I love this one with the hawk. Son of Cups. Eight of Wands. So we get that swiftness that comes from the Eight of Wands in almost, in almost any RWS deck, but with a little bit of a spin. And this deck is very, very RWS, and yet it's slightly goes in its own direction. So this is the Crone, and the Crone is here in place of the Hermit. And in the New Earth, it's the Wise One. It's an interesting thing because New Earth is like a variant of the Motherpeace. I know that Charlene DeLong and Kate Silver are big fans. I love this Ten of Swords. I can talk about this deck, the symbolism within it, for hours and never get bored. But, this Empress is interesting. I mean, we've got all of these different, sort of Venusian representations. But we don't have an overt pregnant Empress here in the way that we do usually, which is interesting. Daughter of Wands. And Seven of Wands. I love this one because it holds so much of the energy of the RWS Seven of Wands, but it really kind of opens it out and develops it into a scene. It gives you a real, pretty visceral ability to take it in. Priestess of Swords. The Priestess is the queen and the shaman is the king in this deck. And then you have a daughter and son. And here's the World. I think the World was originally intended as the Fool. I just read that recently. And then somewhere along the line, maybe Vicky Noble was convinced, you know, to shift it and actually make it the World instead of the Fool, which I thought was pretty cool. Very cute sun card. I love this Nine of Swords. There's so much detail in there and it's so rich. A lot of symbolism to play with. And I really also love this Son of Discs. So sweet. I also really, I really love all of the cards in the deck. I think is a Seven of Swords. This is adorable. You know, the fox approaching the chickens are clueless. It's so sneaky. And gentle. You know, we don't see the fox getting the chickens. We just see that he's contemplating it and there's something potentially off color, devious that could happen. Yeah. Yeah, Three of Discs. I love that too because it's women collaborating together to build something. And then the Two of Cups. Little mer people. Shaman of Wands. Ooh. Five of Wands. Played out like a scene. Daughter of Cups. Little Ace of Wands cracking out of its little shell. Nine of Wands. I love this one too because there's so much wisdom. You know, sometimes the Nine of Wands can, it's you know, sort of often the card that's there right before, you know, where you're sort of thinking like, oh no, what next? Is there something else? Is it going to get worse? And if in fact that's the situation, this woman has chosen to sit down. You know, instead of to fight or to become defensive, she's remaining open. So I love that. There goes this is, yeah, Priestess of Wands. And since I have it here, this is a good moment because it's on top of the other mini deck. So I have this one as a large deck and I have it as a small deck, you know, as the mini. And something that really it took some getting used to was the differences in color between, you know, the larger deck and the mini deck. It's very, very different, and there's so much more detail too because it's been remastered or retouched, redigitized. So it's often not just color; it's also detail. The back is also different. The shades and colors are different. I'm trying to make sure I can get this in. I'm itching everywhere. I don't know if folks can see this, but like at a certain time of day, you know, I've already got this going on, but the itching and like hives kind of come up everywhere, all over my skin, and it's really bad in my eyebrows. Working with a holistic doctor to figure this one out because all my dermatologist can do is give me steroids, and it's like, yeah, don't kind of want to be on steroids the rest of my life for this. Let's just find out what my body's reacting to with inflammation. Anyway, yeah. So Princess of Wands, or Priestess of Wands, Queen. And then, oh, I love this three Three of Wands, teaching, painting the wall together. Anything that involves cave art makes me happy generally. I have a real thing about cave art. Okay. We go Two of Wands, very different than the usual Two of Wands in RWS. Where she's deviated or where they've deviated, I feel like it was wise. Like there's a lot of, it seems like there's a lot of depth that gets added. I love the Death card. Look at the snake shedding its skin between the two trees and then the skeleton. Just all of the possibilities of death are there. They're all extant. Okay. Judgment. I think Judgment, is Judgment one of the ones where there's a big difference, or was it not? Nope, not as much. Some of them there's very little difference. Looks like the outdoor light has shifted and I'm not using much indoor light here. So it's changing the cards, but we get that in the sunroom too. So what's this? This is Three of Cups. Oh, the star in this deck. Oh, look at that. So beautiful. I mean, just so rich. And that, you know, she might be journeying because she's potentially in an altered state. And there's always that hawk overhead, which is frequently an indicator of journeying. I love this card. This, I think, is a very different color, too, maybe, than in the mini deck. So just be aware, Nina, if you decide to do the larger deck versus the mini deck, there's some pretty major, significant differences. They haven't bothered me tremendously. I got the miniature first. I'm just like going through this one looking to see if I can find my star. So it was at the bottom of the deck. So there's the star in the big deck. There's the star in the mini deck. And I don't know how visible this will be. But there is a certain amount of difference in detail that's present in this. Not as bad as in some of the other ones. Some of the some of the ones in the mini deck are really strength, as I recall, is one where you don't get a lot of the details missing. And when I got the bigger deck, I was really shocked because there were some cards I struggled to recognize, both because of coloring and because of love that one. Six of Cups. Four of Swords. It's very much how we tend to read it now. Oh, this Two of Discs. This is one of the ones that I did not instantly recognize once I got the mini deck. Yep, here we go. Very, very different coloring, and the detail is kind of different too. I mean, this one has like a rough sketch kind of feel to it. Yeah, that's just not as good. And this one is a lot less rough. So yeah, I love when people use the twins on the discs because, yeah, I don't know a parent, I don't know a single parent of twins that has not, it's immediate, it's immediate. It's just so immediate, yeah. Okay, what's this? The Fool, yeah. The Fool's kind of different. Not just in terms of like its representation in the deck, but the detail. I'm not going to be able to find it quickly. Anyway, in the little deck. In the little deck, the color is different. Oh yeah, Hierophant. Yeah. Yeah, 7 of discs. Yeah. There's just so many feminine and female analogies used in this deck. This one kind of reminds me of the Fool in the Tarot de Saint Croix. I'm having trouble holding this all of a sudden. Props. Okay. Oh, here we go. 10 of Wands. Very different than our usual interpretation. And yet it could still hold the usual RWS interpretation, I think. I see that as potential there too. But it just opens up a little bit more possibility in terms of reading. What do we have? Oh, the Shaman of Cups with his cauldron. Oh, the Wheel. Yeah, this one is, you can't see the detail of this card at all in the mini deck. And it didn't bother me. You know, I still felt like I was able to read with it. I was just amazed at how much opened up once I had the big deck. You know, it just completely opened things up. Justice. I love this Justice. Justice in this deck is restorative justice. I love that. It just makes me so happy. Such a beautiful, like, earthy, organic, warm, loving, and gentle. Yet, you know, this is very mysterious, and yet we all kind of have a sense maybe of what this archetype is representing. Has a different kind of power than a very Western HP. Yeah. Oh, the Devil. It's a very different one. I saved one from the mini. Look at the color, the difference. Few could be as big as, you know, in color difference as the, you know, the one, what was it? The Queen of Priestess of Wands. But this one is, you know, it's, yeah, shading and also this just looks like it's cheaper somehow. I don't know. And yet it's never bothered me. It's only when I compare them that I really notice it. So I don't know. I mean, I was in love with this deck after working with the mini for a little while to just go ahead and say, okay, I've got to go ahead and have the big one. And I didn't realize how many differences there would be, you know, in color and detail and so forth until I had it in hand. And afterwards is when I saw Kassia's, well, I may have seen it before. Anyway, I saw before or after I saw Kassia did a video comparing the two from Tarot Map. Not 5 of Cups. Very different reading for the 5 of Cups than what RWS gives us, I think, as well. Oh yeah, here's the 7. And there's much more of a like divine balance to this 7, more of a spiritual balance in this 7 of Cups. Less confusion, more, well, obviously the Dove, you know, more peace, more symmetry, more purpose. The 8 of Cups to me is a lot more like the 7. You know, it's not somebody leaving, which is what we're more accustomed to, the idea of somebody giving something up and leaving. The octopus feels to me a lot more like the 7 in a regular RWS. Yeah, 6 of discs. Body work. Son of Swords. Shaman of Swords. So the authority and the, you know, his eagle is over there. but his authority and power, or her authority and power, is through speaking the word. It's amazing too how the more decks you study, how, the more deeply able I think find that I become to like really look into a card and see it and see potential for meaning. Six, I love this Six of Swords. I want to fly like that and make a sword circle with roses and no shirt on. Palazzo pants. It's so lovely. Oh, 9 of discs. And she's divining out in the desert. I don't know. This one has like, I feel like this one, like I haven't messed with it much since messing with New Earth, but I feel like it's kind of where New Earth and Tarot de Saint Croix maybe cross paths a little bit. Yeah, 9 of Cups. Yeah, this is a good emperor here. Holding down the fort, bringing in the stability. This one's a little rigid, and this one is one of the ones that I talk about. When I think about cards that have that lean towards patriarchy around the emperor, this one tends toward that, I think. Maybe a little bit more than some other emperors I've seen. Yeah. But it's not enough to really turn the emperor in this deck for me completely or anything like that. It's so feminine and kind of balanced in its, I guess if you're a woman, it feels balanced in its femininity because it's so feminine. And yet, that's a really powerful Daughter of Swords there. Kind of like the Morrigan in the goddess deck, the Dark Goddess deck. Priestess of Cups. This is one that's not very easy to see in the mini deck. A lot of detail there. Oh, this Chariot. I love this Chariot. Yeah. And it's Cancer. I love how they put the Cancer, in the sky above. Yeah. And it's in the woman's heart. And then we have the Moon. This one, as I recall, is also a very different color in the mini deck. Yeah. There's a labyrinth. Like that labyrinth there, like reflected in the water, did not come across in the mini deck nearly as well. Love this Tower card. It's one of my favorite Tower cards in any deck. We see a shamanic initiation in progress with the eclipse and yeah. 4 of Wands. Magician. Oh, Strength. I may have to go and find the Strength in the other deck because it is so different. Okay, so here is Strength in the larger deck, in the normal size deck. Here is Strength in the mini deck. You still get the feel of it, but this is one, and I keep in mind, I still love the mini. I didn't notice how much was missing until I had the availability of this. Like, you can't see that little crab or like little scorpion guy here in the lower corner. I missed this guy. Can't even see her face or facial expression. You know, the tree and the two animals under the tree, the fox and the lion under the tree. You just, you know, there's a lot of detail there. You know, those look like blobs. It's just not the same. So the detail just didn't take me or pull me in the same way. And since I have it here, the two moon cards. Very different coloring wise and detail. Like, again, you know, the facial expression of this person is kind of just not available in the way that she is here. Here you can really see her. So there are a lot of little details like that that are, you know, that take place between the larger and the smaller decks. Love this Eight of Swords with Heckle and Jekyll up there. Ace of Discs. Priestess of Discs. Four of Cups. Eight of Discs. Working away. And here we are, we're back to the Temperance. Pretty sure we already, yeah, the 6. So yeah, a quick little like flip through here of the mini. So it's teensy weensy. And it makes it, you know, easy to shuffle. Right off the bat, you can see the colors are nowhere near as rich. The detail is nowhere near as clear. Yeah, look how washed out the Fool looks compared to the other deck. And yet, you know, it still is clear. Like, it's clear enough. I had no trouble reading this at all. I wish I had gotten this as like the mini set, you know, where you can get the book, the guidebook, because I ended up having to get the guidebook separately. But having this little mini deck means I can carry it in my purse really easily if I want to. When I was substitute teaching before I was before it turned into full-time paraprofessional, I carried it with me because on breaks I could just do a quick reading or a tarot pulse or, you know, mess with it. And because I had the larger deck by that point, I was already pretty, I decoded a lot of the symbols, etc. So, you know, the little deck it's a sweet shuffle. You know, whoop, if you don't throw it everywhere. Whew. And I'm back. I just couldn't let it be on the floor. The bigger one, same thing. You know, it's still like, I'll just get up on my heel here. It's still pretty easy to shuffle this. Do 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 do. And I would say that it's also possible to riffle this, although it does not riffle for me as easily as our little friend somehow. Maybe I just haven't riffled it enough. Maybe if I riffled it more, it would be happier to be riffled. But this one shuffles like overhand much more comfortably and happily to me, I think, than New Earth does. Right? Because New Earth is like super happy. I mean, it's okay. Like once you have it for a while, I noticed Tom Benjamin saying like he had some trouble with like the overhand shuffle and things sticking. This goes away with time, in my experience. I mean, it's fine with being overhand shuffled at this point because I work with it every day. And it still is happy to riffle shuffle, and I nearly always riffle shuffle it, you know, when I work with it. So, you know, size-wise, because I know, Nina, that you've already got this guy at home. These two are almost the same. I mean, they're not, there's a little bit of difference. I think the Motherpeace is just the teensy-weensiest bit larger than New Earth, but I mean, it's negligible. And then if you look, size comparison with the baby, with the mini, you know, it's like that. Yeah. So that's what I would say. And of course, the mini guy is like teeny. So it's really beautiful and delicate. If you have small hands, this guy is a major, major winner. He won't really riffle shuffle though. So you can really only overhand shuffle the baby Motherpeace. But the good thing about that is, you know, the cardstock is such that it doesn't stick. It's really, really very overhand shuffle friendly. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. All right.